Okay, in this video I'm going to look into the types of email that you should use. For example, there is content emails, there are engagement emails, and then of course there are selling emails. So we want to look at the proportion you need to use those and where you would use those different kinds of emails. Some of those you'll know about. Obviously it's easy to go straight to the selling kind of emails, but you don't want to do that because you need people to know, like, and trust you first. And also, even when they do, you want to give them a good proportion of these types of emails. So just going to go into that. So the very first type of email that you want to use are content emails. So what I mean by that is that the email is not selling something, it's just giving some content. It could be content in the email, it could be a link to a blog post, which is informing people of something they need to know or some important information. It could be to e-sign articles, it could be to a YouTube video, it could be a download for them that you're giving them for free without opting in, that they go straight to. But basically, the rule of thumb is this, and that is that you want to have 3 content emails to every selling email. Now, you can combine those. So when you're starting to broadcast and you're promoting affiliate offers, for example, or maybe your own products, then what you do, you set up a page with some content on the page, for example, a downloadable file. Or what I do is I send people to a page with downloads at the bottom of the page, and then obviously the page has either my bonuses for an affiliate offer, and they can click through, get the affiliate offer, and also download the free content in the zip files at the bottom of the page. Or you could have a product on there, and again they will get the free content email. So obviously what people are going to do, people are going to click through because they want the free content. Some of them will buy, some of them won't, even if they all download some content from that page. Okay, that's the idea of doing it that way. When you first get people onto your list, so in other words, we're talking now about the sequence, the initial sequence that they get when they first opt in to your list, that wants to be content rich because you want to build up that trust. You want to get them to know, like, and trust you, see you as an authority. I mean, one thing I do, as well as having content, for example, I would have a very high priced coaching offer. I have an offer of about $10,000 very early in my email campaign. What that does is that preconditions people to see me as a high ticket person, even though they never buy that. So that's just there for a credibility reason alone. Obviously people can buy it if they want to, but nobody ever has because they're seeing it early on. That's just there as a credibility booster. Okay, so it's not really a content email, it's not really a selling email, it's just a credibility program, part of the initial sequence, which needs to be content rich. Okay, so that's the first kind of email. Okay, content emails. Okay, the second type of email you want to have are engagement emails. Now, you don't hear much about this because people don't use this tactic very often, and it's not very taught very much. So that's why you need to just listen up here a little bit, because engagement emails are absolutely brilliant, and there's 2 ways to use them. The first is to help get people to know, like, and trust you. So you ask them questions and you get response. Okay, for example, you can ask them about the problems that they're having in their niche and what they're trying to do and achieve online. For example, if you're teaching them marketing or whatever it is that you teach in your niche, you can ask them questions about that. Now, of course, what most people do when you talk about problems, they will talk about money and time. So you really want to ask 3 questions. Say, what are the top 3 things that are holding you back from achieving X in that niche? And then you get people to reply. So that's engagement. They're replying to you, and obviously a proportion of people do that, and that is a great way to get them to know, like, and trust you, is to use engagement emails. But also it's a very ninja way of selling. It's something I've used a great deal, and it's something I was taught by one of my coaches, and he absolutely masters it. I need to basically do a bit more, and also to get some more sort of tips off him of how, because what happens is when you build a subscriber list, when you get to a certain level, say 1,000 plus or more, there'll be people on there who will be high ticket people, quality people, and they will tend to not so much buy low ticket stuff, although they might do that, but they're more high ticket because they're really, up to speed in their niche, so they're not frightened to spend money and get good results. So what you find, you have to dig those people out, and by sending out one of these engagement emails, you ask them some questions and you get them to respond, and that is how you can sell high ticket stuff. So that is a really ninja type of email that you need to use. So you want some engagement emails that just ask questions about your niche in your initial sequence, but also it's a great way of using selling. So in other words, you use email to sell. I mean, what I've done is I've actually just emailed back and forth. So I set up an email, people open it, then I respond, they respond, and so I respond to them. Maybe I put a canned reply into a text file and just copy and paste it into the email, send it them back, and eventually it gets to the point where they say, yeah, okay, I want to do this, and then I send them an invoice. So I haven't used a sales page at all to sell them something. They've sent me an invoice, and then I just send them the thing. So you could even have no website and still sell high ticket stuff. That's how good this kind of email is. But there's a third kind as well, which you're just going to right now. And of course, that is selling emails, which is obviously what you need to do in order to make this, a cash on demand system that we're using email for. That's the main thing we want to get to. But you see, those two come before it. So content emails are the most important because they're the ones you're going to do the most of, and you need those right up front as people come on. And you need the engagement emails to kind of boost that, and also to use to sell high ticket stuff. It's a great method. Then you want selling emails, which would just maybe sell affiliate promos and that kind of thing. I mean, obviously there's two ways of doing that. You could basically get behind some affiliate offers and just promote the heck out of them, which you could do in your sequence. But also then you find you get launches and that kind of thing going on if you wanted to get behind those, and then you send an email out to your whole list just to sell that. Okay. So you want to have 3 times the content emails to selling emails, which are the prime ones for getting you what you want here, and then scattering the engagement emails around. But bear in mind, obviously, if you're using that ninja selling technique where you send out emails to get a response to sell something, that is counted as a selling email. So you just got to bear in mind the proportion to content that you use that with.